Today in our hot seat, we have Vera Richards, President of Language Services at Akorbi. Hi, Vera. Good to have you with us.
Hello, everyone, and nice to be here.
Really good to have you here, Vera. And so, are you ready? Shall we do this?
Yes, let's do it. I'm all ready.
Welcome to C-Suite Hot Seat, the show where we put C-level executives from language service providers of all sizes in the hot seat. We will ask tough questions and get inspired answers. Our hosts today are Nimdzi Insights, VP of Consulting, and Sarah Hickey, VP of Research.
Can you tell us what is it actually that Akorbi does?
We provide language access and human connections.
You are now the president of Language Services. Was that the first career that you dreamed of having as a kid?
No, it certainly wasn't. My dream job when I was a kid was to be an English teacher. So I lived in the Czech Republic. That's where I grew up. My grandmother she grew up in the United States. So English was spoken in the house, and I was just very passionate about language. And my parents were teachers, so that's why I kind of combined the two and wanted to be a teacher.
If you could travel, which are the three countries that you would travel to? Could you also tell a little bit about how you grew up in the Czech Republic then and then ended up in the US?
So we lived in the Czech Republic. It was communist during my upbringing, so I couldn't travel. We were quite limited to what we could and couldn't do. Yet we had this grandma who was this worldly woman who had a big impact on my life. So she spoke English to us, and we grew up in a English or more of the American culture because of her. She was such a beacon of culture, which she brought into us. So we couldn't travel at the time, although I was on a track team for the Czech Republic. So I was able to travel outside of the Czech Republic, but only to the communist bloc countries at that time. So I didn't get to visit too many countries while I was young. The countries I would love to visit, and I haven't been to, are Japan. That culture intrigues me, and I would love to visit Japan. Also Iceland and Egypt, because I really love history. So I'd like to see those three places.
Are you still into sports when you're not working? How is it that you now like to spend your time?
Yes, I love sports. I love running and hiking. We most recently, during the pandemic, because we love traveling, we purchased a camper van. So we travel around the United States, and so that's been really great, and do a lot of hiking and moving.
Wow. That sounds amazing. I'm almost jealous.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Not almost, definitely jealous.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Yeah, that's a good one. So early on in my career, when I was already in localization, I had to make a presentation in front of the largest IT client in the United States at the time. And I was quite nervous about public speaking and about giving the presentation. So the best advice I received then from my colleague was, when you know your stuff, you should be confident enough and not frightened of public speaking. And that really proven to be true. I just relied on the knowledge and went forward with that. And I remember that to this day. When I'm speaking about something I know or I'm passionate about, I am never nervous. And so that I would consider that a good advice.
Okay, fantastic, Vera. We got to know you a little bit better at this stage. So now we can move into the more business-related questions and crank up the heat a little bit in here. Tell us about your first breakthrough moment in your career.
My biggest breakthrough was when I moved from the role of a project manager to the role of a group manager, where I had larger teams and global teams, that I was able to put together a great team and bind them through their cultural differences to work together to be able to align with what the clients were looking for, because this is what we do. And when the global team works well with the client needs, and it shows that this is what binds them together, that was the breakthrough where I felt that this solution really works well and I can build on it.
What was the biggest challenge that you had to overcome?
I would say that the biggest challenge was to ensure that the teams I put together, they have the right mixture of passion for what they do, as well as being professional enough, not trying to push people to the roles which are not fitting to their skills or to their ability and to the passion, but rather build the teams where everything happens for a good reason, everything happens with intent, and the teams don't feel that they are competing with each other internally, but rather working together and working with the clients.
Can you recall something that was a mistake or a failure, something that didn't exactly go as planned, and what you learned from it?
How I work is I'm completely transparent with the client, with the team. It's not even intentional. It's kind of natural to me to be as an open book as possible, right? In one case in particular, it didn't work. The client didn't want to hear the absolute truth. They wanted to see something, I would almost say, made up. Even though that happened, I'm maybe a little more cautious, but for most part, I still feel that's the best way to go.
Mm-hmm. What does success mean to you?
I think there are levels of success, depends on what we're looking at. So internally with the team, I am quite empathetic through the way I lead. I do best, and our whole company does best when we do listen to each other and hear each other out. So harmony within the team is success to me, when people come in and they are excited about what they do, but also being mindful of the balance of, their outside influences. There's also personal lives which play into it. So as a leader, I think it's very important for us to see the human side of things, not just being focused on, the revenue and the markets and the money, but also seeing that our biggest wealth as a company is in the people we work with and the talent we attract, and keeping that talent with us. So that to me is a success for our company and for me in particular. And on the other side, success to me with a client is understanding completely their needs and putting together those customized solutions for the client that not only helps the client, but also helps us, because it's a creative process and it will bring in innovation we can maybe apply somewhere else in a similar situation.
You are a female leader in this industry. And even though we might not want to always point out, okay, well, this is a woman leading, shouldn't matter if it's a woman or a man. But to me, it matters in the sense that when we look at the industry, there are a lot of women. There's more women in the industry than men. Yet, let's just say the majority of people we interview here are men. And a lot of CEOs that we talk to in the industry are men. So there aren't as many women, in the industry that are leading or owning companies. The percentage is higher than in other industries, but still, I'm curious to know, on your way to becoming a leader in this industry, were there more obstacles you had to overcome, or what does it mean to you to be a female leader? Do you have anything to comment in this area?
I am very fortunate to be able to work for a women-owned company, and that did attract me to coming to Akorbi because it's women-owned and it's minority-owned, and the entire story of Claudia Mirza, who is our owner, is quite fascinating. So I am very lucky to be in that position. What I see great about being a female in this leadership role is that I can help other women, show the path and mentor towards this type of career. And I feel that empowering women by showing them that they can move from a translator, PM, group manager, other roles, they can get to this level if they show the passion and if they are willing to give in the time and the interest. And as long as you have the passion for the industry, you can get to this point as well. So.
Do you have a role model? Doesn't need to be a woman, can be a man or anyone, non-binary, just anyone that you look up to or that you consider a mentor throughout your career or still at this point?
I learn from my colleagues. I learn every day, even from within my team. So I wouldn't call it one single person. I like to listen to ideas. And one of the things from the beginning of my leadership role, I always tell the team, if you hear me saying something which makes no sense whatsoever, I want you to say that to me. I want to hear your ideas, because I want to hear all the dimensions so we can put together the right solution, the right idea. And this is not only just in the localization or interpretation, but also within the leadership team.
I like that a lot, because I think a lot of leaders or in companies that I've worked in before used to talk about an open door policy and wanting to hear from their team, but didn't really mean it. So I think it's very important to take that seriously as well. And it sounds like you do. So that's fantastic. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs starting their own business in the language industry?
Surround yourself with people you trust, and surround yourself with people who are passionate for language, who are passionate for culture, who are passionate for bringing in solutions, and who are not afraid to learn, who are not afraid to be flexible. And I would encourage anyone who is interested in language, who is interested in these type of connections around the globe, to join this industry. We definitely need a lot of new talent. I do see a lot of talent coming in, but we need more. So I would encourage people to definitely go and try and start your company, and surround yourself with people you trust and who can help you achieve that.
That's very good advice. Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing, Vera. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us in the hot seat. I hope you didn't sweat too much.
No, I didn't. And it was a pleasure meeting both of you, Inge and Sarah. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
If anyone else feels like letting off some steam and you're part of the C-suite at a company in the language services industry, sign up with us if you dare to sit in our hot seat.
Yeah, and for the viewers at home, thank you so much for watching or also for listening. This was it for today, but watch out for the next episode that will be published as a video on MultiLingual TV and also as a podcast on the Nimdzi website. We'll see you there.